Cinema Classics is sponsored by the Gateway Film Center and is produced by John DeSando and Johnny DiLoretto. Listen to full shows online at WCBE.org. I'm Johnny DiLoretto.
I'm John DeSando.
We are Cinema Classics.
We are.
And joined today by President Programmer of Gateway Film Center, sponsor in perpetuity of Cinema Classics.
And without whom we die.
That's right. Yes. Chris Hamel, welcome.
Thanks, guys.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So we had you on because of the Oscars, because we know that you are the guy in the know. You're the cognoscenti, as it were, of award season.
Regardless of that, they're this Sunday.
Yeah.
And we're Thursday. So we are right before them.
Right before the Oscars, okay. And Chris, you guys got something going on, right? Let's get that out of the way.
Yeah, thanks. The Gateway Film Center, as you know, every year does our big gala around the Oscars, and this year is the same. And we all get to be in the same room together while we do it this year, which is very cool. So,
what a treat.
Yeah, people in Columbus want to come out and, rub shoulders with the cinephiles of the city.
Yeah.
And hang out with us and watch the Oscars. We'd love to see you.
So let's go ahead. You got a big question. What would be the one question, John, you would ask Chris about these awards?
Chris, rarely, if I'm ever asked, do I say, I am sure this is going to get the Oscar for Best Picture. Mm-hmm. Do you have that feeling this year?
Absolutely not.
Okay. Tell me why.
Every year about this same time, John, the NCAA basketball tournament happens, and they call it March Madness. And it's because none of us really know who's going to win these basketball games. And the Oscars this year in 2022 feel an awful lot like that, where it's like one day I think I know what's going to win, and then the next day another thing, and then another thing, and another thing. So do I have a good sense of what's going to win Best Picture? Nope.
All right, I do.
Well, tell me what you think it's going to be.
Up until a few days ago, I was certain The Power of the Dog was going to power over everything.
Uh-huh.
Then I began hearing, about Coda.
Right.
And Coda just won the Producers Guild
Yeah.
Award, right? Which then changes the whole...
I am saying, oh my, do we have a Moonlight coming here? What do we have? So, anyway, yes. So I was very certain it would be Power of the Dog, and if I had to bet, I would still bet on it, but I think Coda's... I thought it was Belfast that was going to be sneaking up, but now I think it's Coda.
Well, I think you're making my point. It seems like every couple of days there's a different film.
Oh,
and by the way, it's Thursday. Who knows what will happen this weekend?
I know.
The votes are in. The votes are in, and I think you're right. The Coda has all the momentum right now, but when those Oscar voters voted weeks ago or a month and a half ago, did they vote for Coda?
Great point.
Did they go for Power of the Dog? Did they go for West Side Story? I guess we'll find out on Sunday.
You're kidding me.
No, what is that? Yeah, what are the odds of that happening? West Side Story.
Well, Johnny, you know, one of the main ways to choose what's going to win is what gets the most nominations.
Right.
And it's not West Side Story, to be clear. But look, the Academy loves Spielberg, and West Side Story is great. And in a year where there's no clear favorite, a film like West Side Story could actually sneak in and win.
That would be interesting. First of all, I loved West Side Story.
Yeah, me too.
I was weeping for 45 minutes straight at the end of that movie. But a huge box office disappointment. How does that hurt its chances?
It's hard to say historically. We didn't have Disney Plus or streaming channels or all these things. It seems like West Side Story got a second life when it hit, I think, HBO Max and Disney Plus. But you're right, it failed pretty badly. It was released right at the peak of the latest COVID wave, and so I don't know, I guess is the answer. We'll see what happens, but it's a strange year, as we've already articulated, and I don't expect West Side Story will win on Sunday night, but I would not be shocked.
Yeah. Here's my question for you, big overall question. As you know, the Oscars, it's the final event of the movie year, basically, even though it happens in the following year. We look back, and it gives us a huge sort of cultural overview of this whole thing that we experienced cinematically, right?
Right.
What was your overall impression of 2021, movies-wise, and what film is missing for you from the Best Picture category?
Well, first of all, I think 2021 turned out to be a pretty great year in film. When you think about the 10 nominees, with the possible exception of Don't Look Up, I think they did a great job picking
Yes.
the Best Picture nominees. I was glad there was 10. I was afraid they'd go light because of the circumstances. I thought Lost Daughter was just unbelievably great. I think when we look back on 2021, a lot of us are going to be talking about The Lost Daughter. And so I think if there's an omission, that's the one I would have liked to have seen nominated.
My omission. Nobody else would agree with me. Card Counter.
Well, I liked the film.
I mean, yes, and I liked his performance. And, you know, again, it was like what we were just talking about as far as performances go. They're just people that are left aside. And I thought that was the one, in addition. In other
It's
words...
a little too staid, you know, a little too...
Well, you know, it's, I think, a little bit of what we were talking about with the outfit. It's not for everybody.
Right.
And you take a look at Mark Rylance. He should be up there
Sure.
with a nomination, but he's not, of course, because the film isn't.
It's ineligible.
Yeah.
Right.
My omission was Sean Baker's Red Rocket,
Yes.
which I thought was amazing. It's the only film I've seen 3 times
Wow.
this year. I don't do that anymore, you know, now that I'm a grown man. I usually don't see... The only reason I watched it for a 3rd time was because my kid wanted to see it again.
Sure.
I thought that is just an amazing film. Simon Rex was totally snubbed. I mean, we want to talk somebody that got robbed this year. I thought that was one of the most original performances I'd seen
Right.
in recent memory. Just very different and challenging. You know, it challenges it's amusing, but it's also challenging you in a lot of troubling ways.
That's a film really hard to get anybody to watch.
Yeah.
Right. But I do think Sean Baker, to your point, I cannot wait to see what comes next. 3 films. They're all innovative, interesting. There's some chops clearly on display, and whatever we get next is hopefully will be on this list in the future, you know, Academy Awards.
I thought that the young woman in Licorice Pizza should have been nominated for Best Actress.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't.
yeah.
I'm not buying this whole, like...
Musician turned.
Yeah, just, okay, because she was passably charming and she has a look about her. You know what I mean? It's just like, I actually think the movie suffers because of those 2 performances, which I know is part of the way they sold the movie.
Yeah.
You know, here are these 2 up and coming, and they are charming, don't get me wrong, but I feel like this award should be reserved for people who exhibit a skill, a craftsmanship, and these are just people who, to me, Paul Thomas Anderson directed towards giving a charming first-time performance.
Well, I guess you're right when you consider that Nicole Kidman, I thought, deserved a nomination. And I wouldn't have expected that from her. But you're right about the charmingness of Our Lady.
Yeah, it's fresh, but not skilled.
Yeah.
Who doesn't belong in any of these categories? Who does not belong?
I thought Javier Bardem's performance in Being the Ricardos was flat, and I didn't enjoy it at all. So that would be my off-the-cuff answer.
I agree.
I think you already mentioned people who potentially, both of you actually, from Card Counter and Red Rocket, those are performances I think I would have preferred to have seen in the Best Actor category. And then, not necessarily an omitted film, Johnny, but sort of a add-on to your question is, I thought Worst Person in the World was one of the best films of 2021.
Oh, you're right. Yeah.
And I'm a little, I wish it had gotten more nominations, quite frankly. I'd love to see it up against some of these American films and see how it performs.
Was that your favorite international film of the year?
You know, I really liked Flea. You know, favorite's such a strange word. You and I have talked about that so many times before. Flea's not exactly the greatest watch, right?
Right.
But what an amazingly innovative,
what a
incredible storytelling. I don't think I've ever seen anything like Flea, so I guess I'll say Flea.
Okay.
So we talked about creeping up. Driving my car has been slowly going all year.
Yeah.
Till a month or 2 ago, you'd have thought it might take the whole thing.
It's another one of these films that for a couple of weeks, Hamaguchi's going to win, it's going to win Best Picture, and now, you know, it'll probably win International Feature.
Yeah.
But again, I think we all know that Worst Person in the World might be, I think, maybe a little bit better film. And also the international titles historically go to the one nobody's ever seen, so you probably go with Luna, right? Because nobody's seen it.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I've seen it. That movie's really terrific.
Speaking of being robbed from the international feature category, Petite Maman was such a... What are you laughing at?
I'm laughing because I still haven't seen it, and he keeps talking about it.
Well, it was great.
If it was one reel shorter, it could have been nominated for a short film. It's like 60 minutes long.
It's like
very compact.
70.
Yeah, it's very efficient.
Yeah. That one and... What else was there? Oh, your favorite, Titan.
Oh God!
That one
Did you
definitely
see
should have
that?
been in this
Oh,
category.
I saw
That is
Titan.
one whacked out film.
That is definitely not going to get nominated by the Oscars.
All right, Chris Hamel from the Gateway Film
Ah,
Center
Chris,
joining us.
great to see you.
Thank you. If you want to hear our full conversation, head over to WCBE, the podcast experience page,
Got
wcbe.org,
it.
and listen to Double Take.
Yep.